Even when we do CPR, when we try to resuscitate someone and we do all these things that people see on TV it looks magical. The reality of it, when we do this stuff, there's not enough blood that gets into the brain to enable the brain to function. Even during resuscitation, the brain remains flatlined. And so what happens? Well, certainly there is life after death for a period of time. Does it continue forever? I don't know. But certainly for a period of time afterwards, consciousness remains.
And so if it remains for a period of time after death, and you think it has some sort of a materiality to it related to the body, I assume, because we don't have consciousness before our birth, so it has to have some relationship. When the body becomes irreversibly damaged, and certainly the brain, doesn't that mean that even if there was this residual, something different consciousness, it would certainly disintegrate? If consciousness has a materiality to it, isn't it impossible for it to continue?
I can only comment, and I think it's important. I'm not a philosopher, okay? And I think that just by way of fact of life, I'm a physician, I deal with life and death, and it's very precise.
Good, I'm glad there are people like you.
And well, we have to have all kinds of people. And I think, philosophy, of course, is important. But my point is that what I'm able to comment on is what we have evidence for which there is data, that there have been research studies carried out, and that I can at least give you that. I'm not interested in my own personal opinion. It doesn't matter. I'm like no different. It's only what the evidence shows. So the evidence that we have so far can enable us to make a comment up to the first few hours after death, and we can say that consciousness continues. After that, I don't know what happens. Consciousness, the self, the psyche, the soul is such a mystery that we just don't know. And whatever we say would be personal opinions. Some people may say, well, I believe it must disappear. I can't say anything about that. And there are others who may conclude, well, look, if consciousness could continue for hours without brain function, I don't see why it would disappear suddenly a minute afterwards or after a period of time. I don't have the answers.